I got into a beef with one of the neighbors, right? This old Italian dude. And it's been ongoing for like 7 years. This is how it started. The guy's got 3 cars and takes 4 parking spaces. And Brooklyn is a premium. You can't find a parking space. So what he does is parks 3 cars in a row and then he puts traffic cones in between. So it adds to a whole other space. So I'm a Scorpio. I'm a little vindictive. So whenever I see one of the spaces open, I park in the space. But then he does stuff to my car. Like the first time I came back, there was a hard-boiled egg stuffed in the exhaust, right? So I'm like, okay. So I waited till it got a little warm, and he cracks one of the windows on his car. I got a big bag of glitter, and I filled his car with glitter, right? And I know he cleaned it out. He has sprinkles all over his face. He looked like a stripper, but without the Yankee Candle vanilla smell, you know. So then I park in the space again, right? And I come back, the gas cap is off. There's an empty bag of Domino sugar duct tape to the car. I'm like, So I put the car in neutral, I roll to the gas station, they look at it, they're like, there's some residue around here, but he didn't actually put the sugar in. This guy's just messing with your mind, he's crazy. So I'm like, okay. So I wait till it gets a little cold. I get the cones wet, I stick them on the top of each car, they freeze like sirens. And then I drive, I drive by and I see them, I'm like, whoop, whoop, just to rub it in, right? So then I park the car in the space again, and I go away for like a week, and I just leave it there. I come back, there's slices of bologna on the hood. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but this is how bad bologna is for your digestive system. If you leave it on the hood of a car, for more than like 3 days, it permanently fades the paint. So I had these permanent polka dots on my hood when I peeled the bologna off. And then he would shout out of the window, send a salami to your boy in the army, like these old World War II insults, right? So I'm thinking how I'm going to get this guy back. I'm thinking, how am I going to get this back? It's Christmas time. We live across the street from a church, right? And the church has a giant nativity scene, like life size. This is a couple days after Christmas. The doorbell rings. It's 2 detectives from the hate crime division. And they're like, did you hear anything strange last night that transpired upon the block? I'm like, no, you just didn't hear nothing. You just didn't witness nothing, like somebody may not have belonged on the block. I'm like, no, what happened? Somebody stole the baby Jesus. And in the manger, there was an empty little basket, right? It's very sad. Okay, very sad. So the guy gives me a card. He's like, if you hear anything, give us a call, right? So I kind of forget about it. So it's like a couple nights later, I'm taking out the trash. I'm like, this trash can's kind of heavy. I remember throwing out something so heavy. I open it up. There's this wooden thing in there. I bring it inside. It's like a doll. I'm looking at it. My wife's like, that's the baby Jesus. You got to return it to the church. I'm like, what? And so I'm thinking, I'm the only person in the neighborhood doesn't go to the church. So I'm like, how am I going to, I don't want to be associated with it. Like, they're going to think I had something to do with it. So I'm like, how am I going to create? I'm like, wait a minute. So I get a tomato from the refrigerator. I put it in the baby Jesus' hand, so he's holding it. I put it on the hood of the car. I call the hate crime division. I'm like, yeah, I think I seen this Jesus you guys are looking for. They come in, they see it. The guy's in Florida. He's been on vacation. They tow his car. And, he comes back. I drive by. I see him, I say, honk if you love Jesus. And, so I feel like I won. A couple weeks later, I park in the spot. I come back. My car's totally vandalized. The windshield is cracked. The antenna's broken off. I got 4 flat tires. And my wife's like, that's enough. You lost. This guy's crazy. I'm like, all right, I'll just let it go. You just got to let it go. She's like, you lost, So about a month ago, the dude dies. And I had nothing to do with it. I can't say I'm sorry about it, but I had nothing to do with it. But you got to do the right thing. So I see his wife. It was like 2 weeks ago. I see his wife. And I'm like, I got it. So I'm like, hey, I'm very sorry to hear about Anthony's demise and everything. She's like, you know what? I appreciate that. She's like, a lot of people don't know this. He was very sick for the last 5 years. That's why he was the way he was. She's like, really? There was only one thing that kept him going. I'm like, well, what was that? She's like, he hated you. So that's the first story, everybody. That's the first story.